everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we have week 14 of the NFL season in the books. It's done, it's over. The world no longer has a need for week 14 of the NFL, so let's talk about it a little bit here. I've been running around like crazy this weekend getting stuff done, so I'm not going to have a ton to say, but we'll pull in here. These are my predictions that I made last Wednesday. And let's start off with the Jaguars beating the Titans, which I said would happen. Seemed like a bit of an upset, but I got this one right. And after this game, the Titans fired their general manager. I guess losing to the Jaguars is just a pain, too unbearable for them, but really, even though they're 7-6 and they're gonna win the AFC South, the Titans were expected to be better than this. They really were. And, yeah, at some point, the GM, I get it, the GM being fired. Final score 36-22 in favor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course. Trevor Lawrence, 30 completions on 42 attempts. 368 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Ryan Tannehill, 25 completions on 38 attempts, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And, you have Derrick Henry, who has decent stats here, 121 yards off 17 carries. I mean, that's really good. He has a rushing touchdown, but he also has 2 fumbles, which affect Derrick Henry. I've never seen him fumble twice in the same game. Trevor Lawrence also had a rushing touchdown, so 4 total touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence this game. Trevor Lawrence continues to be an enigma to me. I can never quite figure out how good he is or isn't. It seems like week to week he's kind of looks different. It's not even just like winning or losing or how much he's putting up. Like, he looks different week to week. It's weird. I don't know. Next up, I said the Bills would beat the Jets, and they do. 20-12 is your final score in the city of Buffalo. They were this is actually kind of low scoring. 20-12 is your final score. The over-under was 43.5. I'd honestly say, besides the touchdowns, besides the touchdowns, maybe Mike White, maybe not a better game, but Mike White looked just as good as Josh Allen in this game besides the touchdowns. Mike White, 27 for 44, 268 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Josh Allen goes 16 for 27, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, also a rushing touchdown, no interceptions. But it has to be said, Von Miller tore his ACL this game, which is not going to be good for Buffalo. He was definitely one of the big contributors on that team, a big reason for their success. Von Miller. And I think it's an ACL. Let me double check. is it maybe not as bad as they thought? Oh no, he did. Okay, out for season after getting surgery to repair ACL tear. Okay, Von Miller's done. Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but alright. Next game, I said the Bengals would beat the Browns, just as I learned that Joe Burrow is undefeated against the Chiefs in his career, which is kind of crazy. I learned that Joe Burrow has never beaten the Browns before. The Browns have always won, while Joe Burrow has been the QB of the Cincinnati Bengals. But that changed today, because today the Bengals beat the Browns. Well, not today, Sunday, but you know what I mean. 23-10 is your final score in favor of the Bengals. Deshaun Watson goes 26 for 42, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Joe Burrow goes 18 for 33, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jamar Chase gets a nice little game, 119 yards off 10 receptions and a touchdown. I always like seeing the Burrow to Chase connection. It's like my favorite 1-2 punch in the league that's not, coming out of my own team. I said the Steelers would beat the Ravens. I thought that the injuries to Lamar Jackson especially were going to be too much to overcome for the Ravens. I thought that the Ravens were going to kind of not be able to, not that, the Steelers are fantastic or anything, but then Mitch Trubisky is in a QB. Kenny Pickett is hurt. So you have Mitch Trubisky in a QB versus Tyler Huntley at QB, and Mitch Trubisky did Mitch Trubisky things in this game. And even though he did Mitch Trubisky things, they were still close, but the Ravens win this one 16-14. Tyler Huntley goes 8 for 12, so Tyler Huntley not throwing the ball. 88 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's kind of cool though, 88 yards off 8 completions. Like, that's 11 yards basically exactly per pass, so that's pretty efficient. Mitch Trubisky goes 22 for 30. 276 yards, 1 touchdown, but the kicker is 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. Yeah, not a good game for Mitch Trubisky, former Nickelodeon MVP, by the way. Which I don't know how you can be the MVP and then come and put up a performance such as this. It's a travesty. I said the Chiefs would beat the Broncos. They did. The Broncos were hanging with the Chiefs for a while. For a decent bit, the Broncos were hanging in there. The final score on this one is 28-34 in favor of the Chiefs. Unfortunately, towards the end of this game, Russell Wilson goes down and is concussed. Russell Wilson gets concussed, or that's what it looks like to me. He hits his head. He has like a big visible lump on his forehead, and he gets taken out of the game. I'm not sure if they've said whether he's gonna play next week or not, but it was definitely a scary, that you could tell on his face he didn't know where he was. Let's see. Broncos announce injury diagnosis. Okay, so they even state that he did suffer a concussion when he slammed his head. Kenny Pickett also with a concussion, so it's 2 QBs now in concussion protocol. Hear what they aren't saying, if he's out for next week or not. That's interesting. Okay, so I don't know. They don't know if he's going to play next week or not. So maybe it's not that bad if they didn't immediately rule him out, but going down like that, you think maybe the way their season's going, they just hold him out. They're already eliminated from the playoffs. They're like, there's no reason to risk his health at this point. Just save him for next season, really, because there's no point in anything else. 34-28 is your final score, like I said. Mahomes goes 28 for 42. 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, but also 3 interceptions, which is crazy. 3 picks and 3 touchdowns from Mahomes. I know the Broncos defense is very, very good. Russell Wilson, 23 completions on 36 attempts, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns as well for Russ. 1 interception. Unfortunately for Russ, his 1 interception gets taken back for a pick 6. One of the most disrespectful pick 6s you'll ever see. They literally shove Russ to the ground as they're running into the end zone. He gets absolutely stuffed there. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes throws 3 times the amount of interceptions, but none of those get taken back to the house. Honestly, though, Russ doesn't throw that, the Broncos win this, even with the backup QB Ripien coming in, because Ripien even comes in and he gets a touchdown to Judy in the 4th. So, Broncos are actually carving him up a little bit this game, which is shocking. It's one of their best games of the season. It's after they've been eliminated, and it's against the Chiefs. I said the Dolphins would beat the Chargers. I'd lost all faith in the Chargers for this season. I was like, alright, well, next season Chargers, next season. And then the Chargers decided to just be good again and win 23-17 in favor of the Chargers. Yeah. Tua Tagovailoa had probably his worst game of the season. I don't know, maybe I might be not remembering a couple, but it feels like this is his worst game of the season. 10 completions on 28 attempts, 145 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Herbert goes 39 for 51. 39 for 51, 367 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Tua Tagovailoa put up those numbers. You'll remember last week I talked about the Chargers defense and how poorly rated they are overall. That bad defense held Tua Tagovailoa to 10 completions and 145 yards. That's kind of crazy to me. We're overlapping here. That better? A little bit. That defense held Tua to that. Just a bad game, Tua. Yeah, then we come here. I said the Raiders would beat the Rams. They really, really almost did. Even with Derek Carr putting up a terrible performance. Terrible performance from Derek Carr. But the Rams win it by 17-16. Personally, though, I'm happy about this. I'm happy to be wrong about this. Baker Mayfield, final few seconds of the game, leads a game-winning touchdown drive, flings a deep ball down to the end zone. Van Jefferson, only his 2nd catch of the entire game, hauls it in for a touchdown, 23-yarder. that was a nice moment, seeing Baker, what he's been through, being bounced around all these different head coaches when he was with the Browns at the beginning of his career, then getting traded after the Browns signed like the most controversial player maybe ever, and Baker being on like kind of the losing end of that happening. Getting shipped out to the Panthers where he just didn't work. He's having the worst season of his career. Before this moment, he goes to LA. He makes the hero play and wins the game. 17-16. Now it has to be said, Derek Carr put up an all-time bad performance. 11 completions on 20 attempts, 137 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, QB rating of 36.9. That's very bad, a QB rating of 36.9. Baker Mayfield goes 22 for 35, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Josh Jacobs was just carving him up. He got the ball 27 times for 99 yards. It was all about that run game, but good for the Raiders. The Raiders, good for the Rams, good for Baker. I'm actually really happy for Baker on this one. Cowboys beat the Texans. I predicted that they almost didn't, but in the end they did. They were fighting for their life though to make it happen. I'll tell you that right now. Because I think maybe I'm being a little bit conspiratorial here, but what happened with the QB situation here? I'll look that up, but anyway, it seemed like the Texans, they were in a position to win this game. Kinda seems like maybe they let the Cowboys win because they want to keep that number 1 overall pick. That's all I'm saying. That Ezekiel Elliott rush at the end to get the win, it looked like a play out of Madden. They just zigzagging, running, cutbacks, running. Like, I'm just saying, there were some crazy runs there at the end of the game that, I don't know, man, it's a little bit conspiratorial. What happened with, hold on, I have to look up what happened with the QB situation, because the stats are, for the Texans, at least, are kind of weird. Did Davis Mills get hurt? I'm not sure if Davis Mills got hurt. They have Jeff Driscoll listed at QB here. I guess he got their only touchdown, so it makes sense. Maybe they just were running some different sets, but Davis Mills goes 16 for 21, 175 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Jeff Driscoll goes 4 for 6, 38 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. So that's why they put Driscoll there, I don't know. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott goes 24 for 39, 284 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. There's been a lot of interceptions this week from QBs who usually do not throw a lot of picks. Like this week, people just, everyone just decided to play sloppy with the ball at the same time. I don't know. I said the Vikings beat the Lions and I was wrong, and I'm upset because this is an upset. Or not even an upset, but I almost picked this. I was so torn on this one. I was like, maybe the Lions could win this one. I thought it could happen. And it did happen. The Lions beat the Vikings 34-23. I don't care who the Lions are playing next week. I'm betting them to win. Spoiler alert. Who is it? The Jets. Oh yeah, they're gonna win. They're gonna smoke the Jets. Also, it came out today that what is it? Jared Goff. There was like an interview about, this is from Rappaport. It said the Lions do not consider current starter Jared Goff to be a bridge quarterback. So, that means that they're thinking Jared Goff is their long-term starter at QB. Which, maybe so. That's Jared Goff has definitely looked pretty good this season. He's gotten them some wins that they were maybe not expected to get. I don't know if a lot of people had the Lions at 6-7 right now. I don't think many people, even though they were technically the Vegas favorite, had them beating the Vikings here. But they did by 11 points. And the Lions were only favored by 1.5. They beat them by 11. Kirk Cousins goes 31 for 41, 425 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Jared Goff goes 27 for 39, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I was just complaining about interceptions. Here's a game without any. Unfortunately, East Coast games, I didn't get to see any of this, but, like, hey, the Lions are kind of for real a little bit, sorta. They kind of are. Eagles versus Giants. I said the Eagles would win, and boy howdy, did they win. 48-22. They were a 7.5 point favorite. They won by 26. The over-under on this game was 44.5. The Eagles alone put up 48 points. Alone. Jalen Hurts goes 21 for 31. He has 217 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. No picks. Daniel Jones goes 18 for 27. He has 169 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, no picks. Both QBs get rushing touchdowns here. But man, just smoked them. 48-22 is crazy. Crazy. Can we talk about this Buccaneers game? I thought the Niners with no Jimmy, I thought Brock Purdy would be decent. I didn't think Brock Purdy would be outplaying Tom Brady. Also, I learned today that Brock Purdy, it is the first time in NFL history that a debut QB in their very first career start has beaten a Tom Brady-led team. But the Niners smoked the Bucs. Smoked them 35-7. I thought this would be close. The Niners were a 3.5 point favorite. They won by 10 times that amount. 10 times. Tom Brady goes 34 for 55, 253 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. 2 picks from Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't throw very many picks. Brock Purdy goes 16 for 21, 185 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, no interceptions. Tom Brady got beat by a guy who does not even have a profile picture on this website. They don't have a picture for Brock Purdy. You cannot see what he looks like. But the unfortunate thing here for the 49ers, Deebo Samuel is going to be out the rest of the season. I think it was an ACL tear. It might have been a break. I think it was an ACL tear. Deebo Samuel, he got the opening score of this game as well, but yeah, he'll be out the rest of this season, so that's a big blow to the Niners right now, especially as we're coming into the home stretch here, getting ready for the playoff push with the Niners in such a good position. That's a bit unfortunate. I said the Seahawks would beat the Panthers. I didn't expect, the Seahawks are 0-4 combined. 0-4 combined against the NFC South. The NFC South is the worst division in football. It simply is. You can't cut. There's no two ways about it. It is the worst division overall in the NFL. It's just simply true. There's nobody worse. And the Seahawks are 0-4 against the NFC South. Not a single win. And that includes this Panthers team. Sam Darnold. 24-30 in favor of the Panthers is our final score. We're in Seattle this game. Sam Darnold goes 14 for 24, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Geno Smith has his worst game of this season. 21 for 36, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Now, the rushing game, the problem obviously is that all of our running backs are hurt. So they know we're going to pass it. Kenneth Walker's hurt. Everybody's hurt. Travis Homer is our leading rusher this game. We don't get a rushing touchdown because they know that they're not going to do anything about it. And our run defense is terrible. Like the Seahawks run defense is atrocious at this point. 74 yards off 14 carries for Shepard Hubbard. Like, just disappointing. This game was really disappointing, and this game right here might keep us out of the playoffs. This game might be the reason we don't make the playoffs, which is really disappointing. And we're projected to get the number 2 pick, so whatever. Like, the season's still whatever. But getting the number 2 pick and making the playoffs would have been like the perfect season. And finally, the game that was on as I was recording this video, I said the Patriots would beat the Cardinals. They did. It was close for a bit. Unfortunately, Kyler Murray goes out of the game with a non-contact leg injury. He probably isn't going to play the rest of the season. I imagine that's an ACL, MCL, Achilles, something like that. That's really unfortunate. Final score 27-13 in favor of the Patriots. Mac Jones goes 24 for 35, 235 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Colt McCoy goes 27 for 40, 246 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. So very similar stats here between these two QBs. Kyler, before he went out, let's see. Before he went out, Kyler had just 1 for 1, literally. Like, it was like the opening drive then trim. Okay, I didn't realize it was that early. Yeah, so that's really unfortunate for them. Not the Cardinals had any playoff hopes, but just on the personal level, Kyler Murray, him being healthy, you don't like to see that. So this week there were 13 games. I got 7 correct. So 7 for 13 for, let's pull out the handy dandy trusty calculator here. 7 divided by 13 is 54%. Remove my drink. I go 54%. Almost dropped my phone. That would have been noisy. So for the season we go 121 for 13. That'll be what, 198, 208. Yep. I thought the season was 17 weeks. Somebody corrected me in my predictions video and said actually there's 18 weeks. I thought it was just 17. I thought that was the rule change they did. I didn't realize they added weeks 2 different times. So my apologies. We have a few more of these than I thought. Or one more of them than I thought, but that's week 14 in the books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below how your team did this week, what you think of your team now that we're getting towards the tail end of the season here. The playoff picture is starting to become a little bit more clear. What do you think? I go through about once a week or so and try to respond to all the comments my videos get, so I try to respond to any and all feedback. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.